Welcome back, everyone. We are back from our last break here, and thank you for joining us at the final session of our second annual White Hat Conference. Before we begin our award ceremony today, I'd like to first provide our audience with a few brief introductions. Firstly, Mike Toro Alvarez is a liaison officer of the Center for CIC for Latin America. He is a lieutenant colonel with more than 20 years of experience in the field of public safety and cybercrime investigation, as well as assisting AmeriPol and the United Nations against drugs and crime. We additionally have Dr. Kyung-Suk Chu. Dr. Chu is the U.S. Department of Justice Grant Program Lead and the Professor of Criminal Justice and Economic Crime at Utica College. He is the COPI of the BJA Grant Project, who has worked closely with the PI institution, Boston University. He has extensive research grant experience, such as the OJJDP Juvenile Drug Court Guidelines, the NIJ School Safety Intelligent Fusion Center in Miami-Dade, and the Department of Education Louisiana Safe and Successful Schools Initiative, the BJA Sex Offender Authentication, the KIC Transnational Human Trafficking Study, and finally the Massachusetts Shannon Community Safety Initiative. Lastly, we have Dr. Lou Chitkushev, who is the Associate Dean of the BU Met College, the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, and the Associate Professor of Computer Science at the Boston University Metropolitan College, as well as the Director of Health Informatics and the Health Sciences Programs. Dr. Chitkushev served as the chairman of the Met Computer Science Department from 2006 until 2013. And in 2004, he was part of the faculty team which established Boston University as a national center of academic excellence in information assurance and in education and research, as designated by the National Security Agency and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. He is co-founder of Boston University's Center for Reliable Information Systems and Cybersecurity, and as its founding associate director for academic programs and industry relations, he also serves. Dr. Chitkushev's research interest is in computer networks and cybersecurity, specifically in new scalable internet architectures and protocols for reliable biomedical and financial data transfer. Mike Toro Alvarez will begin the awards ceremony by distributing the Outstanding Contribution Awards. And then Dr. Chu will be the moderator of the Student Paper Competition and the CI Competition Awards. Without further ado, let's please give a warm welcome to Dr. Kyung-Suk Chu from Utica College, who will be the moderator during this session and who will provide the winning announcements for these competitions. Dr. Chu, please take it away.
Dr. Chu, please come here. This is the White Hat badges, the full star, the golden one. Cooperation between cybercrime investigators. White Hat Conference 2021 is now possible, it's true, because of Utica College support, and your support and the support of your team. This badge represents all of the commitment, all of the people, different teams who were working close each other as we have to do as cybercrime investigators. Please receive the assurances of our highest admiration and gratitude. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Choi. Dr. Choi, thank you so much. Thank you very much for making the academia closer to the cybercrime investigators. On behalf of the community of Police Forces of America, Maripol, and all of the teams who were committed with this event and with the training before coming here, we grant you gratitude for your leadership and support for making this continent a place, a cyber-safe place. Congratulations. Dr. Lu, Boston University Metropolitan College. The main goal of a cybercrime investigator is to capture the cyber criminal. But the biggest one is to work really close with other cybercrime investigators around the world. Thank you so much for providing such a support, for giving us the idea of a really global cooperation framework. Thank you so much, Boston University and Metropolitan College. On behalf of the community of police forces of America, Maripol, thank you for your support in the training of our police officers, cybercrime investigators, institutions, and society. Congratulations. Thank you. Please, Dr. Lu.
All right. Thank you very much to Mr. Torre Alvarez for presenting those awards. I believe, are we going to go into the student paper competition and CI competition awards now? And those will be presented by Dr. Kyung-Suk Chu from Utica College. So Dr. Chu, if you could please take it away.
Thank you, Andrew. Good morning, everyone. I also like to say good afternoon and good evening to friends and colleagues joining us from all over the world. I am very much excited and deeply honored to present to you the winning teams of the Cybercrime Investigation Challenge and the finalists from student paper competition. First, student paper competition, as you already had a chance to listen the full finalists from the competition, I would like to give you a brief background of it. While the conference itself was scheduled only for 2 days, which was yesterday and today, the student paper competition started early this year. 12 student papers from many different countries were submitted in February and entered the competition. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge special thanks to the competition judges. Dr. Jae-Young Choi, Assistant Professor at Angelo State University, and who is also a guest editor of the International Journal of Cybercrime and Investigation, and Professor Brandon Angelis at the University of Tampa, and Nathan Chris, the professor at Penn State University at Tula, and Richard Wentling, the professor at Penn State, New Kingston. Like the judges that I just mentioned, many were working behind the conference and who have devoted their time and effort to the conference. Without them, it would not be possible to have this wonderful and successful conference. Again, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to those people who served and as one of 3 co-organizers of this conference. So let's find out who is the first place out of the 4 paper finalists. And those finalists are the Sydney Ghetto University of Scranton, Jason Hwang, Seoul National University, South Korea, Na Young-go, Gyeonggi University, South Korea, Youngjae Park, University of Texas at Dallas. So the first place goes. Thank you. Wow. Well, first place goes to Miss Ji-sun Huang from Seoul National University. Congratulations, Ji-sun. Let's hear her remarks. Ji-sun Huang?
Hello, my name is Jisung Hwang from Seoul National University, and I am very honored to be the first prize winner of the student paper competition. I'm attending this conference from South Korea, so by the time this video goes up, I'll have been awake since 1 a.m. here. So very happy news to help me survive the rest of the day. I would also like to thank my family for their support during the long and often grueling process of writing the paper. And I would also like to thank all of the experts who participated in the interviews that formed the crux of my paper. Last of all, I would like to say a very big thank you to all of the organizers of this event. Thanks to you, I am very encouraged in my plans to continue to pursue my interests in this field. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Again, my big congratulations. So now it's time to find out the first place out of the final three teams from the Cybercrime Investigation Challenge. This morning, you also had an opportunity to listen the mock trial presentation. Like a student paper competition, we had 16 cyber teams from 13 countries had competed one another in 24 hours, starting on Monday, May 31st at 3 p.m. here in Eastern Time. Unlike the traditional CTF challenge, which demonstrates the technical skills requiring computer science, engineering, software knowledge, and components, our Cybercrime Investigation Challenge was designed to demonstrate and focus on communication and collaboration between technical cyber professionals and legal professionals, such as prosecutors and judges. If technical cyber professionals do not follow the legal regulation and boundary, there will be no difference between bad guys and good guys, meaning they all broke the laws. Thus, it is critical to comply the legal procedure, like a criminal procedure laws during the investigation. It is also critical how to communicate and present such complicated technical skills and knowledge to prosecutors and judges who may not have such complicated technical knowledge and background. It is very tough and challenging, yet we have to prepare. And that's exactly how the challenge was designed for its own and unique model compared to many traditional CTF challenges out there. I am very much impressed to observe this competition. Some teams tried different techniques, such as working in different shifts and working individually on some tasks. These techniques, although well intended, did not return similar gains as those teams where multiple individuals were involved in discussing and brainstorming, the next challenging steps. Imagine yourself, you're dealing with a foreign language and United States Criminal Penal Code because you are actually coming from, another countries. Communication with the case managers during the challenge and investigation and preparing the mock trial. I don't know if I could handle such a high level of stress within 24 hours. This is truly the challenging. For that reason, I like to congratulate every one of those contestants who showed their bravery and engaged in such challenges regardless of their scores. So here is just a short summary of the finalists. All of the top three teams demonstrated very good communication and discussion as they discovered different obstacles and evidence throughout the competition. For example, uh, uh, the Cambodia achieved 64% of the technical challenges. This team was very persistent and they all worked throughout the entire time available. They came on very strong later at the stage of the competition. Hungary, for example, achieved 90% of the technical challenges, jumped off to the very early lead and had to get busy later in the competition, tried to stay in first place. It's Cambodia and South Korea and other countries' teams started to close the gap. South Korea achieved 58% of the technical challenges. This team was another example of continuing to work hard. Their efforts paid off as they steadily improved their standings throughout the end of the competition. But I also like to make a special note about one more team who was not the finalist of this competition and therefore was not able to present during the mock trial. Argentina, although they came in fourth in this portion of the competition, worked very hard, had excellent communication and teamwork, achieved about 50% of the technical challenge. So in summary, again, I was very impressed in every one of these teams. So after combining the three sections of the technical components, legal writing components, and mock trial, the first place of the cybercrime investigation competition goes Thank you. Well, the first place of the cybercrime investigation competition in 2021 White Hat Challenge and Conference goes to Hungarian team. 50 Shades of the Gray Hats. Congratulations. Again, my big congratulations. Let's bring the team leaders or our entire team and hear their remarks.
I'm grateful for the chance of taking part in this competition. It was really exciting and challenging. I can tell I personally gained a lot of experience from it. I'd like to thank the excellent job my teammates made, who took on the challenge and really put the effort in it. And I also like to thank those people who prepared us for this competition and who were there for us until the finish line. I'd like to congratulate all the other teams as well, who also worked really hard. Thank you all.
Hi, I am thrilled and honored to be here, to be invited to this competition. I'm not going to lie, this was a very intense 48 hours with as little sleep as possible because we wanted to uncover and discover as much evidences and clues as were possible, and also throughout the capture the flag part we wanted to discover as much flags as were needed. Therefore, we have learned so much throughout the whole competition, and we could also further improve our cybersecurity skill sets and hacking skill sets. We improved a lot. Also, it is because we spent quite some time preparing for this competition, like researching and exploring forensics and cybercrime investigation tools and learning about the US way of doing it. And I was mesmerized how real life this whole competition and this scenario was based on. And therefore we could get to know another field and get a little bit familiar with the US methodologies and best practices and cybercrime investigation methods. So this whole competition was a very, very positive experience for me, and I'm looking forward to compete here again. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mario and I represent the 50 Shades of Grey Hat team from Hungary and the National University of Public Service. This was my first ever cybersecurity competition, and in my life I have never worked in the field of cybercrime investigation before. This challenge was a very good introduction into both fields because the competition was very good and the different problems made us use and learn new technologies that we haven't even heard about before. For example, the autopsy program. 2 days ago, we started working together as 3 guys from completely different backgrounds, and right now I can say we really became a team in that 48 hours. We really put in the hours, and I think we achieved what we came here for. Learning new things, trying out our current skills, and representing our university. Thank you very much. Thank you for the organizers, and I would like to thank the other teams for such a good competition also. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Again, thank you so much for every one of you who participated in the challenge and attended this 2021 White Hat Conference. We're looking forward to next year's conference. And now I'd like you to wrap it up to say thank you again to all of you. Angela, you can take it over now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chu, and thank you so much to all of our other speakers, panelists, and competition participants, as well as our audience today. We are going to close things up here, but before we do, I'm going to pass it over to, once again, to Dr. Lou Chitkushev, who's going to make some final closing remarks. So thanks again for joining us. Dr. Chitkushev, take it away.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very glad to have the opportunity to close the conference, which was an outstanding event. Over the last 2 years, we had a possibility to see highly competent teams, highly competent students, participants, and professors across the globe. And also we had an opportunity to see teams that were able to present knowledge that is applicable to everyday life. We had excellent presenters from the government agency and industry, and they represented very well the goal of the conference. On behalf of the Boston University program, I'd like to say that it's not an accident that this conference was at BU. Generally and specifically at Met College. For the last 20 years, Metropolitan College has been developing expertise in the area of security. I'll go over just a few things to remind everybody. I know it's 5 o'clock almost in the afternoon, but it's important to put it in the context. What have been going on over the last 20 years, and what are we going to see? What do we expect over cybersecurity over the next 10 years, and how we can get ready? That is the goal and purpose of the conference. So 20 years ago, it was September 11, 2001, that really changed the way we looked at cybersecurity, the way we looked at security in general, and then it was followed by a lot of activity in the government and into information security programs. So we immediately at Met, we jumped on that opportunity And in 2003, we certified the information security programs at Metropolitan Computer Science Department. In 2004, we had initiative across the Boston University, inter-college, including Metropolitan Computer Science Department at College of Arts and Sciences, Engineering, and the School of Management. And we really established the Risk Center, the Center for Reliable Information Systems and Cybersecurity. So this was in 2005. And then in parallel with that, it was again the Metropolitan College that launched in 2001 the first fully online Master of Science in Criminal Justice. And this has been a top-ranked program. It's currently number 2 ranked in the world, and has been number 4, the top 4 since 2015, since we have this ranking. So that is one important academic component. The other component is research, and this conference is also being supported by very generous research grant by the Department of Justice, and which is a student computer forensics and digital evidence education opportunity program, which supports Boston University and Whitaker College with close to $1 million research money. I'm honored to serve as a principal investigator for this program, together with Dr. Cho and Dr. Chu from Whitaker College. So absolutely, it's not an accident that we're here, and we are delighted that we were able to welcome so many people at this conference. Let me tell a few things about the cybercrime situation and the cybercrime relations that are having here. So the computers are increasingly becoming, as we know, an inseparable part of the social activities. And what we expect over the next 10 years, the trend that we have been seeing over the last 20 years will continue. We will continue to see, in my opinion, the increased accessibility to internet, the predatory personal crimes we expect to increase. The more people will continuously be connected to the internet, and it will, I think, will increase the computer-related crimes and crimes in a cashless economy. So we are going to see a lot of challenges to enforcing these policies and in a digital space. At the same time, we are going to continue to deal with the legacy internet problems. When I say that, what I have in mind is the internet structure. As we all know, we are still using the old internet structure that was developed in the 70s and the 80s, and with all the problems that we have continue to deal with, or to have inherited from that structure, based on datagram networks, the connectionless communication, the addressing space, which is a flat space. In other words, we still deal with IP addresses which have very little or basically no information about the physical location of entities over the internet. It's a flat space. We have insecure protocols and, of course, increase wireless communication. So those are the problems that will remain. So we have infrastructure that has not been designed for authenticated and secure communication. However, we have built on top of it, and many of the protocols, security protocols, have not been implemented efficiently. Even protocols that deal with scalability have a number of issues. We have the other thing that we deal on daily basis is that there is a change in the data and in devices in general. The data devices will continue to shrink in size, which will, I think, increase the possibility for cybercrime and hiding of devices, or more people will use consumer purchase devices, but data storage will increase at the same time, and we expect to see larger data that will be stored in cloud. So it will not be necessarily located at the crime scenes or wherever the investigation needs to happen. We will have a cloud storage. So securing networks the way we used to do it at the perimeters, and then providing that type of demilitarized zone approach to network security is completely outdated these days, especially what we are going to see in the future with software-defined networks and total flexibility of big data and cloud storage. So I expect that really we're going to see much more Byzantine type of attacks of people who, or entities within the network, who are in dormant cells, or they have been authenticated at the time, and after that they have compromised their security issues. And all these things will present extreme challenges to the cybersecurity identification and investigation at the same time. Other things that are of big concern are obviously Internet of Things, the smart environment that are going to be created. We have issues with, for example, more and more medical data is in the cloud, and e-health electronic records, smart grid, nanotechnologies, and all the other technologies that we are using to hopefully detect crime or have ability to, let's say, have financial distributions or communication, like blockchain, to provide actually authentication and to secure that there has been integrity of the data, will be also used in cybercrime. So we have to think of blockchain-based digital forensics, chains of custody, and other techniques that will need to be implemented. Also, with wireless, we go in a higher frequency, 5G, 6G, and higher and larger data. And in general, all these things are putting tremendous pressure on cybersecurity. They're increasing the amount of data, they're increasing the amount of the size of devices, and all this seamless human-to-computer communication, when now we don't have to type, or we can just talk or discuss with the computer, and computers are more and more verbally and visually communicated and recorded, will represent a major challenge for the cybercrime investigation. We will need a global, worldwide cybersecurity units that will need to look into that. But there is one thing for sure: the need for learning new hardware and system will be more than ever present. We'll have various operating systems that people will need to be trained and on software techniques. There is increasing educational needs and collaboration in the area of cybercrime investigation. And it will be more challenging, but more important to stay abreast of production and proliferation of new devices. So with that all in mind, for educators and trainers and people dealing with cybersecurity investigation, there will be increased needs for cybersecurity experts. Unfortunately, the cybersecurity crimes will continue to increase in intensity and sophistication, I would say on a massive global scale. And cybersecurity, cyberspace as a tool for fun and profit, or even worse, will will continue to be an important playground. Also, I expect that cyber terrorism, in addition to cyber crime, will improve, and especially sponsored by terrorist organizations and governments as well around the country. So a steady demand of qualified experts who can identify, investigate, collect, and analyze digital evidence, both in public and private sector, will be present, and demand is likely to exceed the supply. So conferences like the one that we had, a White House conference, White Hat conference, it's extremely important. First, because it's a global event, it puts researchers and collaborators all around the globe together to exchange and work together on techniques and possibilities how to fight in crime. And I think the importance of a conference like White Hat will continue. At the end, I'd like to thank everybody who first helped with organizing the conference, primarily Dr. Choi, Dr. Chu, Metropolitan College, Boston University offices, the Utica College, the government agencies who sent their outstanding speakers, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, all the participants and in competitions, our friends and collaborators across the globe. I was very glad to see people that I've met in Argentina, our collaborators like Luciano from Siglo 1 and 21 and many others. And I'd like to thank for an outstanding conference. We had, as you know, more than 1,000 people, 1,300 attendees, which is amazing number. And it was a very useful, I found it very educational conference. And I'd like to thank you all and send our best regards from Boston. And see you all at the 4th International White Hat Conference. Thank you and best regards. Back to you.